What if I told you that one of the most important organs for fat burning, hormone balance, and longevity can be silently failing without pain, without obvious symptoms, and without showing up on routine blood tests? That organ is your liver. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver is not just a detox organ, it's your metabolic control center. It decides whether you burn fat or store it, whether hormones are activated or recycled, whether inflammation is resolved or allowed to smolder quietly for years, and the dangerous part? The liver doesn't scream when it's in trouble. It whispers. Most people think liver disease only shows up in alcoholics or in late-stage illness. That's a myth. Today, we're seeing liver stress caused by sugar overload, ultra-processed foods, insulin resistance, poor sleep, chronic stress, and nutrient deficiencies even in people who look healthy. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your liver as a high-efficiency factory. Every day, it processes fats, sugars, hormones, medications, and toxins. But when the incoming load exceeds its capacity, too much sugar, too many inflammatory oils, too little recovery, the factory doesn't shut down. It slows down, it gets congested, and toxic byproducts start leaking into the system. That congestion shows up on your skin, in your energy levels, in your digestion, in your sleep, in your mood, and even in how fast you age. In today's video, I am going to show you 10 early warning signs that your liver may already be under stress, signs most people ignore or misunderstand. More importantly, I'll explain why these signs appear, what's happening metabolically, and simple, natural steps you can take to support your liver starting today. Because when your liver works better, everything works better: fat loss, blood sugar, brain clarity, immunity, and longevity. And if this kind of science-based, practical health guidance is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I share content like every day to help you optimize your health naturally. Before we go deep into the warning signs, let me give you a big picture framework, because this isn't about memorizing symptoms. It's about understanding why the liver fails silently and how these signs connect. Here are 5 science-backed truths that will guide everything you're about to hear. First, liver stress always shows up outside the liver first, on your skin, your energy, your digestion, your sleep. By the time blood tests turn abnormal, damage is often already advanced. Second, fatty liver is not a fat problem. It's a sugar and insulin problem. You don't need alcohol to damage your liver anymore. Excess sugar, refined carbs, and chronic insulin spikes overload the liver faster than alcohol ever did. Third, hormonal imbalance is often a liver clearance problem. Estrogen dominance, thyroid slowdown, cortisol overload. Many of these don't start in glands. They start when the liver can't properly activate, detoxify, and recycle hormones. Fourth, a sluggish liver accelerates aging and inflammation. When detox pathways slow down, oxidative stress rises. That means faster cellular damage, weaker immunity, and increased cancer risk over time. And fifth, the liver can regenerate, but only if the right signals are restored. This is the hopeful part. With the right foods, fasting windows, micronutrients, sleep timing, and lifestyle cues, liver cells can recover even after years of silent stress. Now, as we go through the next sections, I want you to listen carefully. These are not random symptoms. They are metabolic warning lights, your body asking for help before the damage becomes irreversible. Some of these signs may surprise you. Some may make you uncomfortable. And some may explain health struggles you've never been able to connect until now. Let's start with the first and most commonly ignored sign: your liver is in danger. Here's the first warning sign, and it's one most people completely misunderstand. If you notice dark patches on the neck, underarms, elbows, knuckles, or unusual skin discoloration that doesn't go away, this is not just a skin issue. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver is the primary organ that processes glucose and insulin signals. When the liver becomes overloaded, usually from excess sugar, refined carbohydrates, or constant eating, insulin levels remain chronically high. That condition is called insulin resistance, and insulin resistance doesn't stay hidden. It shows up on the skin through a condition called acanthosis. Nigerians: thickened, darkened skin caused by excessive insulin-stimulating skin cell growth. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of insulin as a delivery truck carrying sugar in 2 cells. When the liver is healthy, the trucks unload smoothly. But when the liver is congested with fat and glycogen, the trucks pile up outside, honking, idling, causing chaos. That excess insulin doesn't just float harmlessly in the blood, it binds to receptors in the skin, triggering abnormal pigmentation and texture changes. This is why these skin signs often appear years before diabetes, years before fatty liver is diagnosed, and years before blood sugar numbers look alarming. And here's the critical point most people miss. This is a liver warning, not a cosmetic problem. Covering it with creams does nothing, ignoring it allows metabolic damage to progress quietly. What does the research show? Studies consistently link fatty liver disease with early insulin resistance even in people who are not overweight. Now let's talk solutions because this is reversible. First, compress your eating window. A simple 12-14 hour overnight fast gives the liver time to burn stored glycogen and reduce insulin load. Second, remove liquid sugar completely. Juices, sweetened tea, soda, these hit the liver faster than solid food and overwhelm detox pathways. Third, prioritize liver-supportive nutrients, choline eggs, liver, legumes, magnesium leafy greens, nuts, chromium broccoli, whole foods. Fourth, walk after meals. Just 10 minutes of walking lowers post-meal insulin spikes and reduces liver fat accumulation. If this is making sense so far, consider subscribing. I post content like every day to help people fix metabolic problems at the root, because when the skin starts warning you, the liver has already been asking for help. This next sign is one of the most dangerously normalized symptoms in modern life. If you wake up tired, if you rely on caffeine just to feel functional, if your energy crashes in the afternoon no matter how well you sleep, this is not just aging, this is not stress, and it's not a motivation problem. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver is responsible for energy conversion. It stores glucose as glycogen, releases it between meals, converts fat into usable fuel, and helps produce key metabolic molecules like ATP. When the liver becomes stressed or fatty, that entire energy system slows down. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver as a power station. Sleep recharges the battery, but the liver decides how efficiently that power is distributed. If the power station is clogged, damaged, or inflamed, it doesn't matter how long you sleep. Energy output stays low. This is why liver-related fatigue feels different. It's not relieved by rest. It's a deep cellular exhaustion. What causes this? First, fat accumulation inside liver cells interferes with mitochondria, the energy factories of your cells. Second, impaired liver detox leads to ammonia and metabolic waste buildup, which directly suppresses brain energy and focus. Third, unstable blood sugar caused by poor liver glycogen control creates energy spikes and crashes throughout the day. Research shows that people with early-stage fatty liver often report fatigue as their first and most persistent symptom, even before lab markers rise. Now here's the mistake most people make. They add more caffeine, more stimulants, more stress hormones. That doesn't fix the problem, it drains the liver even faster. So what actually helps? First, eat protein earlier in the day. Protein stabilizes blood sugar and reduces liver glucose dumping. Second, remove late-night eating. Eating late prevents the liver from switching into repair and fat-burning mode. Third, add bitter foods. Dandelion greens, arugula, lemon water before meals. Bitters stimulate bile flow and improve energy metabolism. Fourth, prioritize sleep timing over sleep length. Sleeping before midnight aligns with liver detox rhythms and hormone repair cycles. If this resonates, stay with me and consider subscribing. I share daily, science-backed strategies to restore energy at the root, not mask symptoms. Because when fatigue becomes constant, the liver is already struggling to keep up. This sign often gets dismissed as just digestion, but in reality, it's one of the clearest early warnings that your liver is under serious strain. If your stomach feels tight, swollen, or heavy, if your belly protrudes even when you're not overeating, if bloating worsens as the day goes on, this is not random. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver sits directly above your digestive organs and controls bile production, a substance absolutely essential for breaking down fats, absorbing nutrients, and preventing fermentation in the gut. When the liver becomes sluggish or fatty, bile flow slows down. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of bile-like dish. Soap. You can rinse greasy plates with water, but nothing comes clean without soap. Without enough bile, fats don't break down properly. They ferment, they stagnate, they feed the wrong bacteria. This creates gas, bloating, pressure, and abdominal distension even if your diet hasn't changed. At the same time, a congested liver disrupts portal circulation, the blood flow between your gut and liver. That pressure pushes outward, literally expanding the abdomen. And here's the critical metabolic link most people miss. Liver fat promotes belly fat. A fatty liver increases insulin resistance, which drives fat storage specifically around the midsection, the most inflammatory and dangerous fat in the body. This is why people can eat clean, exercise regularly, and still struggle with stubborn belly fat when the liver is compromised. Research consistently shows that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease strongly correlates with central obesity, even in people with normal BMI. Now let's talk about what actually helps. First, chew slowly and fully. Digestion begins in the mouth. Poor chewing increases liver workload downstream. Second, add bile-supporting foods. Beets, artichokes, radishes, lemon, or apple cider vinegar before meals. Third, reduce inflammatory fats. Seed oils and ultra-processed fats clog liver fat metabolism. Replace with olive oil, avocado, and whole food. Fats. Fourth, stop eating when 80% full. Overeating forces the liver to process excess fuel it doesn't need. And if this information is helping you connect the dots, consider subscribing. I post daily content that breaks down hidden metabolic signals like these before they become diagnoses. Because when the belly swells without explanation, the liver is already asking for relief. This is one of the most underestimated warning signs and one of the most dangerous to ignore.